Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Stitches and Stencils, which is a monthly series I do with Sandy and MK over on their channels, which are linked down below in my description box, and we will be doing stitching and stenciling on today's layout. I pulled out some of the papers from the Mente Photographer and Mente Mamarazzi collection that I used for Kit Conspiracy in November. I had these photos left over and I never got around to finishing out using this kit, so I'm using it today. I pulled out that floral paper as you see in the background, and those three strips of yellow paper, film strips, were a 12 by 12 paper that I just cut up. It had a bunch of film strips on it, and then the back side was cut apart. So I'm using that. I'm using a really old Kaisercraft stencil that has a rose pattern on it, on top of white paper, using some Picket Fence Studio Snowdrop White paper glaze through the stencil to give some texture. And I also went ahead and die cut my letters for my title, my number 8, and the letters TH and grade, because this is my 8th grade graduation. And so that's what I'm going to be calling it, 8th grade snapshots, basically. I am going to tear this paper, as you see. I apologize that you didn't get to see me cutting out those yellow strips and cutting out the alphas. I thought I had my video on. Well, it was on. It just was not. It was blurred. You couldn't see anything. So I don't know what was going on there. I needed to clean my lens or something. But anyway, you didn't miss a whole lot. Basically just cutting those yellow strips out and making my faux thicker alphabet, which is something I do frequently on my videos. So hopefully you've seen it in a past video. Basically just use some white paper on top of some fun foam from like the Walmart crafts section. And it is sticky on one side and not sticky on the other side. So I use the adhesive side of the craft foam, stick my paper down, and then I will glue the letters down to my layout. I pulled out some Speckled Egg Distress ink, and I am inking up my papers. I first had out a Catherine Pooler one, but it was a little bit too dark, and I think that's at the top of the screen underneath the paper there. So I went to my my Distress inks, and pulled out the Speckled Egg color, which matches really well. It's very light, and the paper that has all those florals on it is a very light blue as well. So it kind of ties in nicely to that. It's just the ink is a little bit darker than that blue on that paper, so it kind of helps the edges to pop. And I knew that my film strips were going to cover up a portion of the bottom of that white paper, and so I didn't worry too much about some of the gaps between the two iterations of doing the stencil work, where it kind of left a bit of a blank spot. I don't think it needed 100% coverage or perfect coverage. It's kind of like the thing with mixed media. It's never perfect, so I'm okay with that. But I do think that it adds a nice texture, being white on white, and gives it a little bit of interest. And because I used the Snowdrop White from Picket Fence Studio, it is a glossy, shiny finish to it, so it picks up the light when you're looking at the layout in person, versus using a matte finish one where it's just kind of blends back into the background a little more. So that was a conscientious choice that I made. I wanted it to shine just a little bit, kind of like my dress in the photos. I am wearing the pink dress. My friend who I hung out with 5th through 8th grade, she's in the blue dress, and I haven't talked to her in many years, decades, so I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable sharing her photo on my video because I wasn't sure if she would appreciate that or not. So you get to see me, yeah, in all of my 8th grade glory. Okay, so I've got that all layered up. I am inking my paper behind my photo. I am actually going to trim down the bottom 2 photos in a few moments here, and I'm going to ink that paper up as well. And then I just have the basic embellishments from the Mamarazzi and the photographer collections. These were the ones from photographer were all fussy cut out by myself. The ones from Mamarazzi are a mixture of the die pack. I'm pretty sure they're from Mamarazzi. Yeah, the die pack and a cut apart sheet. So yeah, I've got a kind of a mix of things going on here. I did decide I didn't want my white title to be white. I wanted it to be that same speckled egg blue. And I really like it because I also put it over the number 8, which I did do stenciling over the 8 as well. So it kind of brings that shiny prettiness, almost like lace, up into the upper right cluster, whereas the lower left cluster has it as well, since it's behind the photos. So that kind of makes me happy that it just kind of brings everything together and I don't know, finishes off the entire layout. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And this is me just trimming down my photos. There was a lot of dead space at the top and the bottom of one and the top of the other. And so I trimmed those down. I don't really have a size for you. They are, I'm going to say probably a little bit less than 3x3. And that is with me backing them. So yeah, I just kind of eyeballed it. And as you can see there, I did trim the edges of the white that was printed around my photos with my scissors. And then I just backed the whole thing again with a photo mat, and I'm liking how that's looking. It kind of brings everything together and finishes it off. It's a very soft and subtle inking around the photo mats, but it's just enough to kind of I don't know, just give it a little bit of pop and not be in your face. It's a very soft layout, and I like that about this. I think it's perfect for the occasion. I think it really sets the tone and the mood for the a graduation ceremony. It's very feminine as well. So it makes me happy, and hopefully you're enjoying it. I also really liked the word Snapshots. I like the font that it's in. So I wanted a font that would go with it for my title. So the 8 is a little bit of a softer font, and then the other alphas are just a very straight up and down sans serif font that is a little bit edgy. It's not super edgy, it's just a little bit. And I'm liking how that's looking, and I didn't go straight across with all of the letters. The T and the H are a little higher, just like they would be if they typed the T and the H on a computer for the word 8th. And then the word grade, I kind of made them a little wonky. My photos are not perfectly straight either, which it's a little bit more unusual for me to do this style versus doing a very straight grid type of a layout. So I'm happy with how it turned out. And then I pulled out the stitching ruler, one of the stitching rulers templates from MK's shop. These were the original. This is one of the original ones that she created. And I've got my piercing tool and my piercing mat from her starter kit. Actually, I don't know if I have the one from the starter kit or if I have the one from Retreat. I have 2 of them. Yeah, one is from the retreat, from the Wyoming retreat, and the other is from the starter kit that I already had before I went to the retreat. Anyway, I pulled those out, and oh yeah, look at that. I've got the one, yeah, I've got the starter set. So, and then you can see my needle minder at the top of the screen is there. So I'm just using some embroidery floss, and I started out by using the template, but the spacing was not exactly perfect for the little white or little yellow spots on the side of the film strip. So I kind of went off on my own, but I used the template to keep me nice and straight up and down so that I wasn't back and forth on my spacing with the dots. So I had to kind of space them vertically on my own, but vertically. Yeah, the vertical spacing up and down is on my own, but the horizontal spacing, keeping them in a row or in a column up aligned, That doesn't even sound right. Not horizontal. Yeah. So I'm doing great here, you guys. They both feel like vertical spacing, but so they didn't zigzag back and forth going up and down the page, but the gap between them is is all done freehand. So anyway, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for watching today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got links again down below for you to MK and Sandy's channel, as well as products that I might have used today if they are still available. So you can check that out. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope that you are off to a good start for your new year. And I will be back again with another video real soon. So come back and check that out. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.